Ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I would like to thank Renminbi for this opportunity. I really cherish this moment to share with my ideas or ICBC's ideas on how we can tap this RMB capital markets. If the expert Mr. Li from Bank of China, that he's really an expert in fixed income, and I think some of the slides we are going to talk about may overlap. But I think the difference marking the two presentations is that he's focusing on more introducing what is a market, and I'm introducing the idea on how we should do with a market. So my presentation should consist actually one idea, but I would like to introduce ICBC a little bit because I feel that this is necessary definitely because we are not here. We should at least make you know who we are first. ICBC stands for Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. Some people will jump at the last two words when we want to introduce our name. See, Bank of China, I know that, but actually industrial and commercial are what we do most. So by name you know we have a historical heritage in serving the industrial and commercial sector of the China, and actually, we are quite big. We are actually the #1 in many aspects in China. So on this page, you see there are many #1s. I will not read through, but I would like to highlight that it's actually some points related to the capital market, because with a corporate customer base and also the personal base, we can offer a very good distribution platform. And also, we have been active in developing other business ideas. Like, if you look at the right part, we have other, like asset management, also wealth management, bond trading, also precious metal, and also distributing a lot of funds. Also, not only we are big in China, I'm not going to say how big we are, because size matters, but it's not really everything that matters. But we are very well known as well for the quality of the services we're providing. So in the world, we are ranking #1 in a lot of ideas as well. But I would like to focus on our financial stability. So you see the ratings for ICBC Limited. We are single one. And if you look at the shareholding structure, which I've now put here, actually, the Ministry of Finance holds over 70% of the stake of ICBC, so financial stability is not the issue if there is volatility about the financial markets. And also, I listed some figures here for the corporate customers. You see, there are over 5 million corporate ones, covering all the big names. Personal clients, of course, over 449 million, which is actually 1/3 of China's population. And of course, we also have a very huge workforce. You see the number here is quite big, 442. Because I'm based in Luxembourg, every time when I want to introduce how big we are in the workforce, I'll compare this number to the population of Luxembourg. Actually, it's more or less the same. Especially, but when we share the same idea that Luxembourg people, they have most of them working in the banking sector as well. So we share the same thing. And if we look at right, there is world ranking in terms of total assets, also tier 1 capital, and also net income. So I just want to make sure that although we are not here, but at least we are known somewhat. So if you look at international network, we are not really extensive at all as all the other international brands. But if you look at the Chinese peers, we are trying to catch up. So you see here, there are so many words. Just focusing on the red part at the bottom. Here, this is us, ICBC in Luxembourg. ICBC Luxembourg branch was approved by the People's Bank of China last year in September as RMB clearing bank. And also we have the first one, actually, offshore RMB clearing bank in ICBC Singapore branch. This is the first one we have outside the Greater China, excluding Hong Kong and Macau. Also, for the RMB side, because we focus most strengths in China, and just 2 words. So first one, we are the biggest one in terms of deposits, and most of the deposits we are making is definitely denominated in RMB. And by net income, actually today is a very special day for us. Our head office is announcing the annual results, I think just 2 hours before now. I think today, this year, we are also making net profits of 276.4 billion RMB, which you convert back into US dollars, that equals over like 45 billion US dollars as the net profits. So hopefully we can still keep the first one as the most profitable bank. And I would like to highlight that we are also having a successful offshore RMB clearing experiences in Singapore. Ever since we were designated as a clearing bank, the volume of RMB trades, payments, everything in Singapore just picks up. And also about the clearing network. We are the official designations in some locations, but the thing that makes us different is that we have the most extensive one if you look at the time zones. Especially I would like to focus on the Toronto one, because this Tuesday we announced that we officially began to provide RMB clearing bank on the 24+7 basis all over wide. And now, in Luxembourg. So first of all, about ICBC and then about Luxembourg. So in Luxembourg, definitely we have 2 entities. One is a branch, ICBC Luxembourg branch, direct branch, and the other one is subsidiary, which I come from, ICBC Europe SA. We have 2 licenses, but we share 1 team. The thing makes us unique is that with the branch is the clearing bank, while the subsidiary is the regional hub for ICBC on continental Europe. And for the subsidiary, we got awarded by the bankers, by the Euromoney last year as the best bank in Luxembourg. This is the first time we got this award as a foreign bank. So we are operating several branches in 9 locations in Luxembourg, Paris, Brussels, Amsterdam, Milan, Madrid, Warsaw, Barcelona, and Lisbon. I know some of you are already having a question that if you are now here and if you try to introduce yourself, why don't you open a branch here in Warsaw? I must argue that although we don't have a branch here, we do have businesses here. We have a lot of corporate clients as well. It's just that without a physical presence here, we do not do the retail one. That's so much about the presentation and also about, a little bit about the products as well. So I'm not going to read, just like highlights as well. I think about the full spectrum of RMB products and services. Actually, products matter when you want to tap the local market. If you want to educate the local market, you have to provide a lot of services and products that people can invest in, so you do have a local market there. And the thing I would like to highlight on the sixth part is that we have a special product offering since last December actually, and it has everything to do with the next slides I have to talk. So we have the first RQF Users Fund domiciled in Luxembourg, which invests in China interbank bond market, which is onshore bond market. It has everything to do with the onshore bond market I'm going to tell. But I can tell you that I have checked the last NAV is already performing very well, only 3 months after inception, and the NAV is already 114. So I guess if you have similar products, it can go like that way as well. So now my idea. My idea is that we have 2 markets for Renminbi. For onshore, we have CNY, and for offshore, we have CNH. But my idea here is to get funding from the offshore market and you invest into the onshore market. My idea can be wrong, but given the current circumstances, I think it might make sense. Why I'm saying that? Because if you look at future, or if you look at this month, in March this year, the offshore yield of China's sovereign bonds actually surpassed the yield for the onshore bond for the first time. Because previously we talked that you should go to the onshore bond for investment because it's higher yield. And offshore you should get funding because of the low costs, low yield. But this cannot be forever. And this year we have already got one exception in March. And we will see more convergence between the yields on onshore market and offshore market. And that creates a lot of pressure because if you want to issue bonds and grasp the good opportunities of the different arbitrage on different markets, perhaps right now is a good time. With more convergence on two markets, there are good things and also bad things. Good thing as well, that because after the convergence of two markets, you will have more choices when you want to make the investment. You can choose both onshore and offshore depending on the yield you want to have. So for the offshore market, since we have a representative from Hong Kong, so I will not talk more about offshore market, but I can share with you that people sometimes are very confused about concepts. We have dim sum bonds in Hong Kong, we have line bond in Singapore, and we have Formosa in Taiwan. They are all offshore RMB bonds, just have a little bit differences depending on different locations. But here, for the dim sum bonds, this year, the data is a little bit outdated, but this year we have a very good start as well. I checked as of today, we have already got 24 RMB offshore issuance, and it's going to pick up. I'll explain why, because if you look at the chart on the right, you see that in the year 2011, the volume is picking up. And you will see a typical tenor of 3 years. So we will have a prime year during the period of 2015, starting this year, and to 2017, when you see a lot of RMB offshore bonds just going to mature, which free out a lot of RMB offshore liquidity. So also about the market, so look at the tenor on the right, upper right, you see the upper right is the sector, so most of the issuers will calculate that sector is still financials, but the tenor on the first one, you see most of them are still 3 years. And amount maturing at the bottom, right bottom, you see first three columns, they are very high, signalizing that we are going to have a lot of maturing RMB bonds, which free out opportunities right now. So generally speaking, for Hungary, I think that we should look at RMB as a strong currency in the long run. Although this year, there are some engineering about different rates, but still, if you look at the long run, a lot of people have good confidence in the development of RMB since it's going to be internationalized. And also look at China. If you look at China, people are arguing why China is slowing down the growth. Every time I have to correct that it's slowing down the growth, but it's still growing at 7%, over 7%. And also, you don't have to worry about lack of growth engines. You see with the One Belt and One Road initiative, and also the initiative to set up the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, that China are providing more opportunities brought by the infrastructure investment. So with this Belt and Road, we see more funding needs for the infrastructure sector. And also for the region, CEE region, I think Hungary had a special charm and importance. And also, I think I'm taking too much time, so I'll highlight my point very soon. So here, strong investor demand because of the massive maturing dim sum bonds in 2015 to 2017. And I can share with you, if you look at these 3 years, there are extra benefits if you want to team up with ICBC, because every time you try to issue something, it's about pricing. And pricing is largely determined by the distribution. So ICBC has everywhere in Asia, and also we are present here in Europe. We have successfully chosen a lot of good partners for the Clearstream, a Luxembourg Stock Exchange that actually, I'm not so sure whether you know that, because Luxembourg Stock Exchange is actually number 3 stock exchange to list dim sum bonds, only after Hong Kong and Singapore. And also, choosing with us, we can offer you a lot of incentives in working with onshore and offshore investment choices. We are also offering investment instruments in Luxembourg, let alone that we can lead you the way to the onshore. This also confirms the strong investor demand due to maturing. Also, our position in arranging the RMB bond, strong distribution work, and onshore RMB capital market for investment right now. So just now, Mr. Li introduced that China has 3 platforms, and actually China's onshore bond market is already number 3 biggest among the world, only next to the US and Japan. And it has 3 trading platforms. But the biggest one is China interbank bond market, which we also trade and we also invest. So if you look at the participants of this CIBM market, the China interbank bond market, you see the large share of the participants are still commercial banks, as we are. And foreign institutions are composed of several parts. If you look at the red ones, you see the Q fees, the qualified foreign institutional investors, and RQ fee denominated in RMB, and also the overseas participating banks. I must clarify about this definition. What is the participating banks? So if you are engaged in the cross-border RMB payment, and you participate in RMB payment system, clearing system, you have the possibility to apply as a participating bank to trade in the CIBM market. And also you have the issuance companies and central banks. But the issuance companies, I'm going to finish very soon. Sorry to take so much time. But for the onshore bond market, the yields right now are much better. You see about the curve and a little bit about credit rating agencies. I listed several rating agencies. Just now you checked all the rating. You'll find about triple A, but they are not international ratings. They are local ratings. But they're understandable in their rating methodology because the first 3 took up a market share of over 90%. And they are joint ventures with the Fitch and Moody's. And one of them is already recognized, the ISMA, as the credit rating agency. So they are understandable. And if you want to tap this market, we can offer you more information. And I have this access channel for this CIBM market, and also the criteria of applicants. And we can offer you as the counterparty, the agency, and also the custodian for all your investments. But due to the time I already surpassed, I will not go more into details, but I think you will need this when you go back, because every time people are struggling with concepts. So hope this can help you, and I look forward to providing you more information should you be interested. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank you also for the tremendous amount of information provided.